Hey, General McChrystal, join the club. CEOs all but saying today, welcome to life in the crosshairs, big guy. The president's no fan of ours either. Back to New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, who told me today, you know what, those CEOs have a point. The Business Roundtable today had a rather scourging attack on the administration for being anti-business and holding CEOs of all types to unfair criticism. I'm cutting to the chase here, Governor, but their underlying message and the headline was layoff. What do you think of that?
Well, listen, I think everybody's got to be held responsible for their conduct. Corporate CEOs have to be held responsible for their conduct too. They have an obligation to their shareholders and to the public at large to act in a legal and responsible way that helps to make our society a better place. And so I think corporate CEOs have to be held responsible when they've done things wrong. But we also cannot make the business community in America or the business community in New Jersey the scapegoat for every problem by going into their pocket for more money. Because in the end, it's those businesses, both small and large, and the people who start them and run them that create the new jobs that are going to take our unemployment down from near 10% where it is now to something much more manageable, putting more people to work.
But should they be regulated more? Should they be watched more, scrutinized more?
I don't know whether it's more, but what I will tell you is that I think they need to be watched. Now, listen, this is coming from a former U.S. attorney who brought a lot of tough cases against a lot of corporations while I was U.S. attorney. Because, you know, sometimes like any other group of people in business misbehave. They break the law. They cut corners. And when they do, they should be held to account for what they do. Now, I don't know that we need more laws. Okay? You know, when you're in Congress, all you want to do is pass more laws. When you're a legislature, just pass more laws. You know, there's been a law against bribery in America of a public official for over 150 years. But most of my cases when I was U.S. attorney were bribery of public officials. Is there anybody left who doesn't know it's against the law to take an envelope of cash in return for doing something? I mean,
well, certainly Congress.
Well, but here's the thing, though. I mean, so we have to be smart about the laws that we pass. I think we have to be much more vigilant about enforcing the laws that are already there and doing it aggressively.
Obviously, that registered, but it's now made you a bit of a cult sensation on the internet. There are videos of you, as you know, Governor, that have become viral, and you've become a YouTube sensation. Folks
my teenagers are.
Exactly. And one of the things that come up is here's a guy who's doing everything Republicans say they stand for, and he's actually doing it. And invariably, that leads to talk of a Governor Christie maybe being a President Christie. What do you say? Don't let the applause prevent an answer.
Yeah, no, listen, not going to happen.
What do you mean not going to happen?
You know, I want to be governor of New Jersey. I ran for governor of New Jersey. I want to be governor of New Jersey. I understand that, but I'm not Woodrow Wilson. And I think nobody can confuse me with Woodrow Wilson. I think, listen, you have to be really in your gut and in your heart ready to be president of the United States if you decide to run for that. And I simply do not have the desire to do it, nor do I think I'm ready. You know, 4 years ago, there were a lot of people who wanted me to run for governor in 2005 when I was U.S. attorney. And I made the decision, even though many in my party were urging me to do it, not to run because I loved the job I was in, and I didn't think I was ready to be governor.
But you already now, Governor, have more experience than Barack Obama when he announced he was running.
Well, that doesn't mean that I'm ready. That doesn't mean that I'm ready.
How about
in my judgment, Neil? This is really important because in my judgment, if you're going to try to do something like that, you have to absolutely believe in your heart and in your mind that you want to do it and that you're ready to do it. And I want to be governor of New Jersey. I want to do this job for as long as the people will allow me to do it. This is a state where I was born and raised, and I love being here. I love living here with my family. I love coming to my own house every night. I love being with my kids and being like I was this weekend at the Little League field and at my son's baseball field, watching them play. And if I run for president, none of that None of that is available to me. You give over your entire life. I'm ready to be governor of the state of New Jersey. I feel comfortable doing it. I feel challenged by it, and I am ready to do the best job I can for the people of this state. And as for
But have you looked at the field right now? It's not a very impressive one.
Well, listen, I'm not going to get into evaluating
No.
the field.
I'm sorry. I just another thing that came up is, hey, he'd make a heck of a running mate.
Is there anybody around who thinks I could be a number 2 to anybody? I mean, it'd be kind of hard. I kind of have my own views. It's kind of tough for me to be number 2 to anybody. So
Well, Teddy Roosevelt was a pretty good number 2.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Teddy didn't have to do it for too long. The president got shot, and he wound up being president.
That's a very good point.
So, he didn't have to be number 2 for too long. Listen, I think you got to know what you do well. I decided a year and a half ago that I wanted to be governor of New Jersey, and that I was willing to fight for it, and we had quite a fight here, as you know, for me to win this election. There were most people in the state, if you asked them beforehand, didn't think I was going to win this thing. We've won it, and now we're doing exactly what I promised we would do. That's exciting and invigorating for me. I want to serve the people of the state where I was born and raised, and now is the time for me to focus on being governor. And so that's why I've said very clearly to people that while I'm flattered by all this, I really am, and who wouldn't be? But on the other hand, I know who I am.